Good morning and welcome back to the woods. I guess I should say late morning. Had plans of getting an early start. That jet lag from the New Zealand trip, boy, I can feel it. Got home yesterday and knowing I had stuff to do this morning, wanted to get an early go, but we're here now. So the plan today is plant some trees. While I was gone, I had ordered 500 Tamarack trees, or American larch as these are called. I'm going to try and stick them in some of those areas where there was high concentrations of those black ash trees that I cut down. And now there's just big openings there. And if I don't do anything, that's going to come up probably in grass. And once you have grass, then it's hard for other trees to regenerate. So I'm going to try and get something done before that grass comes up. So I got the trees, and I got this old planting bar. I made this myself years back, just took a piece of pipe, split it with the grinder, shoved in a piece of flat bar, welded it up, put a little step on there in case the ground is hard and you got to step it in. So that's basically all you need. It's just anything to make a hole in the ground. You can buy tree spades, shovels, anything will basically work. So I'm going to head in, start getting some of these trees in there. Again, concentrating on the openings. Some of this stuff I got to go back in and cut aspen. And where I'm going to cut the aspen, I'm not worried too much because that aspen should regenerate. It's mainly the areas where I cut the ash. So it's time to get in there and plant some trees. It's time to get after it. It's areas like this in the swamp that kind of got me concerned. The grass has already got a pretty good foothold in here. And these low areas are for wildlife. But if you open them up and you get grass, you don't get a lot of regeneration after the fact. Yeah, so if I can get this whole area planted in trees, if they can get up and the grass doesn't keep them down, this will be a nice little area. Got to try anyway. Got a lot of rain a few days ago. This whole area is pretty wet, wetter than I thought it would be. But put the trees in, see how they do. Got to get them in the ground. Welcome back to the woods. I got to make this talk really quick. The mosquitoes here are of biblical proportions. I've never seen mosquitoes like this before. Yeah, it's swamp and we've had a ton of rain, so that whole swamp is wet. Just a breeding ground for mosquitoes. I came the other day. I couldn't stay. I didn't have a head net or any spray with me. No, I got out of here. Came back today, brought the head net, sprayed myself all up, put the head net on. I think I'll be all right. So what I'm going to plant today, a buddy of mine messaged me, said, Dish, I got some leftover serviceberry. You want to plant them? And I didn't know what serviceberry was. He said, well, it's like a Juneberry, people call it, or like a shagberry. I said, well, I know what June berries are. He said, yeah, that's what service berry is. So he dropped them off. I'm in the woods today. I'm gonna get them planted as fast as I can, and then I gotta get out of here. Mosquitoes are just horrid. Time to get after it and get this done. The bad thing about having a lot of black ash and white ash on the property is that emerald ash borer just cleaned it right out. The good thing about the black ash is it regenerates really good. All these little seedlings right here, that's all black ash. So with a combination of natural regeneration and what I plant here, this should actually turn out years down the road to be a pretty good forest. Finished up planting those Juneberry trees today. Hopefully they take, hopefully the deer leave them alone. Be nice to have some nice Juneberry trees growing there. While I was there, I also checked on the Tamarack or American larch that I planted there. And those actually look like they're doing pretty well. So hopefully it's a successful plant this spring. So what I got today is a single malt whiskey, and this actually came from New Zealand. A small distillery, the Cardrona Distillery, was started years ago by a young lady who went to further her education in Scotland. Her name is Desiree Reed. She started working at a distillery in Scotland, developed a passion for single malt whiskey. A few years later, she moves back to New Zealand. Her and the family sell their dairy herd, build a distillery. Started making whiskey November of 2015. Some of the first barrels they made, they sold them, but they had to keep them right there with the understanding in 10 years, the owners could then take their cask of whiskey to enjoy. Yeah. That was done so they could get some income flowing, make some money. During that time period, they also made gin, vodka, different liqueurs. Again, you have to have some income. And selling whiskey with any kind of an age statement means it's got to sit. This is the Falcon. This is a 7-year-old. And something different about whiskey in New Zealand compared to the Scotch is in New Zealand, the greater temperature difference, the whiskey seems to mature quite a bit faster. So this 7-year-old is really good. The Cardrona Distillery was also recently purchased by a global company. So you may actually start seeing some of this in the States. If you see any of the offerings from the Cardrona Distillery, pick some up. This is really good stuff. So until next time, thanks for watching.